party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I am your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I am joined by Ben Wallis from Pod of Love for a game of Fog of Love. Billed as a romantic comedy in a box, Fog of Love is a fascinating hybrid of board game, card game, and role-playing game that tells a wide variety of romance stories, from lighthearted comedies to deep personal tragedies. It is a fascinating game. I loved playing it, and you'll definitely hear more of it on the show in the future. If you're interested, you can learn more about Fog of Love in the show notes. As I mentioned, Ben is one of the hosts of Pod of Love, which is a romance-themed two-player actual play podcast, focused primarily on Fog of Love, but they also play Star-Crossed and a variety of other games. Ben is also helping to run a Kickstarter alongside the rest of the All Ports Open network for Tomes and Tales Season 1. Tomes and Tales is a long-form documentary podcast about forgotten parts of tabletop gaming history. The first season will focus on M.A.R. Barker's Tecumseh, an utterly fascinating campaign setting and role-playing game that I desperately want to know more about, and that Ben will talk more about on the episode. I would love if you would go to Kickstarter and help make Tomes and Tales Season 1 a reality. It is an incredible sounding project that I desperately want to see in the world. Check the show notes for that, go and back the project. It sounds so cool. And of course, speaking of Kickstarters, in 7 days, that's 1 week from now, oh god, a reminder to go back Mission Accomplished, the role-playing game of super spies and office meetings created by yours truly on Kickstarter. We're partnering with Third Act Publishing. I'm really excited about this game, and I really hope that you'll make it a reality. It's a good game. I'm going to say it's a really good game, and I think you're going to dig it. That's October 16th, Mission Accomplished, Kickstarter. Start the countdown, 1 week to go. Last but not least, a brief technical note. There's a little bit of background noise in this one, partially because we're playing a board game, so you're going to pick up a little more clickety-clack than usual, and partially because we're recording in the city. What are you going to do? I think it's a great episode, though, and I think we got most of it, so hang tight. And with all that said, let's throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week I am sitting down with Ben Wallis. Ben, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thanks for having me on. I am very excited to be on the show.
So, real quick, at the top of the show, why don't you take a moment and tell the lovely listeners at home any projects you've got going on that you might want them to know about, any Kickstarters you happen to be promoting, podcasts you happen to be a part of, that sort of thing.
I would love to do that. I am part of the All Ports Open network, and we've got a bunch of fun podcasts there. I co-host Pot of Love with my wife, Mel, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, more on this show, because that's sort of what we're doing here, is playing the same thing we play there. And I'm also a co-host on No Avatars Allowed, which is a video game and theology podcast. And I'm really excited about a Kickstarter we have coming up, because the All Ports Open Network, we talk a lot about games and obscure games, especially on the show PDB10, which I'm not a host on anymore. Blaine Martin and Josh Wise are the co-hosts now of that show. They like to tell stories of games you may not have heard about that are really foundational and important to the lore of gaming in general. And so we're going to be launching a Kickstarter, or let's see. Well, I guess it depends on when you're listening to this.
It'll probably be out when this episode is out.
Yeah. So we're doing a Kickstarter. We're very excited. It's going to be called Tales and Tomes, and this is going to be Season 1. If we meet the goal for this Kickstarter, we hope this is just the first season of what will be a very polished audio documentary series that tells some great stories of games you haven't heard the stories of yet. And in the first season, we're going to do Tecumseh, which is a obscure old RPG created by someone named M.A.R. Barker, who is a scholar and a Muslim who created this world, Tecumseh, from his childhood, wrote languages, created his own languages to fill the world, and then ended up building a RPG system around it.
That's so cool. That's amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool, and the story has not really been told yet in the way that we want to tell it. And we're working on a lot of research and connections with people who played with M.A.R. Barker and who know the material really well, including the Tecumseh Foundation and other people like that who still play and honor the legacy of his game to this day. It's a really cool world with a really great story, both in world and sort of in our world of how the world and the RPG
super cool. That sounds like an incredible. I can't wait to back this.
Awesome.
I'm a little upset that I have to wait a few weeks.
There you go.
The listeners get to do this today, but I have to wait a while.
Yeah, so please go and check that out. It's what did I say? It was Tales and Tomes. Tales and Tomes. So you remember better than me. So Tales and Tomes on Kickstarter. You can go to allportsopen.com and you can find the info there on how to get to the Kickstarter.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to back it. But this week, we are playing a game called Fog of Love. Why don't you take a moment and tell us a little bit about Fog of Love and tell us about the podcast Pod of Love, which you play this every single week.
Yeah, that's right. So Fog of Love is billed as a romantic comedy as a board game. And it's a rom-com game, but I would argue that that subtitle is a misnomer in two ways, because it's certainly not always a comedy.
Sure. You've told some pretty tragic stories.
And it is a board game, but it really blurs the line of role-playing.
Yeah, it was actually brought to my attention by a friend of the show, Aaron Mendola, who sent it to me and was like, you probably want to play this. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for this. And then you started your show, and I was like, well, this works out perfectly, especially because your show is located in the epicenter of the two-player actual play podcast movement.
I know, it really is, which is just so awesome.
It is really fantastic.
Jeff, I can't wait to see your reaction to the game. I'm
so excited.
Wanting you to experience
I'm really
it so I
excited.
can hear your feedback. Like, you could hate it, but we're going to
really excited. I'm really excited. So tell us about Pot of Love real quick, and then we'll dive in.
So my wife Mel and I record Pot of Love. We are an actual play podcast where we play romance games like this game, Fog of Love, and we also play Star-Crossed. And recently we did a story arc where we used both of those systems to tell one story.
Which is really I love that. I'm such a big fan of switching between games. That's such a cool idea.
Thanks. We were really intrigued to do it, and we thought it turned out really well. We're really happy with it. We love telling stories with this game. We are surprised every time by how, sometimes I'll be in the middle of one and be like, oh, let's see how this story comes out. And by the end, I'm like, this game really does tell great stories. It's a great mechanism for telling great stories.
I'm really excited. Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to teach you how to play.
Yeah, teach me how to play. Give me the whole run through.
Basically, the core mechanic of this game is that we're going to be playing out scenes.
Okay.
There are three kinds of scenes: sweet, serious, and drama.
Sure.
And you're going to have a handful of scenes.
Okay.
We'll start with that in just a few minutes. We'll get to that. And I'll give you some examples, but basically we'll take turns playing scenes right here in the play area. And on the scene, you'll see that there is typically a scenario and then choices that you'll make. So, for example, I'm looking at a card that says, don't forget our anniversary. Now, this is actually a secret. And secrets you would play by sticking them under here on your turn, and they wouldn't count towards the chapter length.
Sure.
But they could possibly become revealed. But let's just say, for example, this one did become revealed.
Yeah.
You would have a choice. If I played this card, you as my partner would have to choose how you would react. So the card says, don't forget our anniversary. And then there's a line I can read, or we like to role play, so we might role play it, do it in character. But it says, honey, dear, please don't forget our anniversary. Are you listening to me? And then I would choose my answer. I could say, happy anniversary. I booked a flight this afternoon. Bags are packed. Or I could say, happy anniversary. This is a fine day like any other. And depending on how I choose to respond, the answer that I give will affect one of these personality dimensions in the middle of the board.
We have discipline, curiosity, extroversion, sensitivity, gentleness, and sincerity.
That's right. And you can be sort of more or less of each of those areas. And you're going to acquire at the beginning of the game 3 traits, which are sort of core traits for who your character is. And those traits will be goals for how you want these personality dimensions to end in the game.
Okay.
So the other sort of end game to this is that you will have in your hand what are called destinies. I still have to give you those. So you will have destinies in hand, and you're going to build towards a final destiny. And there's not really a win exactly, but the closest thing to a win in this game is whether or not you achieve your final destiny you've chosen at the end of the game.
Now, I'm going to be building towards the final destination in which we both cheat death and are then killed by cosmic circumstance.
Okay, well, we can add that in. We've talked about adding the Highlander card, so there can be only one, and one of us has to die.
I love Highlander, though.
Exactly. So, for example, maybe you were building towards self-realization, where you'll fulfill your destiny, if you sort of live out and achieve your personality goals. But you might be trying to go for love team, which is you will fulfill your destiny if you have a shared balance of lots of gentleness and your partner is very happy at the end of the game. Which is the other thing we'll be tracking toward in the game. So the thing about this game that's really fascinating to me about relationships, it's sort of revelatory about relationships, is the tension between
you might have you might have each of you having different things that you're kind of after.
Exactly. So That is the core
Okay.
of the game. And you build characters by getting, like I said, you get traits, you get an occupation, and then we're going to give each other features.
Okay.
Features are the things that we were attracted to.
Right.
About the
Okay. I love that. It's actually one of the things. Speaking of Starcross, it's one of the things that I really liked about Starcross is when you hand off the character sheet, and so like I'm really excited.
So there are several stories that you can play out in this game as scenarios, and so we're going to have to pick which one we're going to do now here. Together. So I'll give you the headlines, and you can decide if you want more of a description or if you want to I'll give you a little rundown. Sunday morning date, which is sort of the one that they use for the tutorial, but it's cool. It's sort of the briefest one. High school sweethearts, kind of self-explanatory. We give it a year, which is where the game introduces, if you're playing it through for the first time, they introduce breaking up and we give it a year. But it's like, you've promised as a couple, we're going to give this 1 year and see how it goes. I know what I want, which is where you enter the relationship, deciding from the beginning you definitely don't want to have kids, but you might end up having kids. So those are the different scenarios.
Let's do Sunday morning date.
All right.
I figure that way, if it's the briefest, we're going to get in and get out, you know.
All right. Sunday morning date it is.
Yeah.
So there are chapter cards, which will sort of set the scene for a series of scenes. So set it up for a series of scenes, and then there'll be a finale, and there's a synopsis.
Okay.
All right. So part of character creation is we should probably decide. Mel and I typically talk beforehand about how we're going to handle gender and sexuality in a given game. We don't have to do it that way. You and I, we can sort of just decide that on our own and go into it that way. But Mel and I typically are like, what are you feeling for this game? And I'll be like, this time I really want to play somebody who's sort of non-binary, so we could do that if you want to now. I don't know what's your feeling for this.
I'm fine with anything. I've got my card on a femme figure right now, so I'm probably going to go with like she, her. You know what?
I was kind of feeling like playing a real dude this time around, so I think I'm going to go with a he, him.
That's fine.
Identifies as a man right here, and I was feeling that today.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kind of actually out of character for me. So, all right. So let's see. I'll read our synopsis for Sunday morning date. You meet at a friend's party and fall in love instantly. One of you leaves early, but before you split, you agree to meet the day after on a Sunday morning date.
Okay.
The challenge, Sunday morning date, is a short and sweet story that is unlikely to include sustained trauma. Because it is so short, it will be difficult for the characters to fulfill all their trait goals. Keep this in mind when playing. All right, we'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind.
Okay. Because, this one has 3 scenes of, 3 chapters of 6 scenes. Some of the other ones have like 12. And get much more dramatic. So this is, a good introduction to the game.
Short and sweet, yeah.
In your hand, you should have the Destinies Love Team, Unconditional Love, Dominant, and Equal Partners. And you're always going to keep these secret from me so that I don't know sort of what you're working toward. And different times in the game, it'll have you discard into your personal discard pile certain destinies that you no longer have in your hand, which means at the end of the game, they won't be available to you to choose from.
Sure.
Now, in this game, we're not going to break up at the end.
That's this
particular scenario. And now, I think all of our extra cards from the other scenes are mixed in, like weddings and stuff like that. So if we come across them, we can choose to either go ahead and say, you know what, forget it, let's just use them, or we might just say,
we'll play it by ear.
Throw them aside.
We'll kind of see where the story goes.
Yeah, so that sounds good to me. All right, let's see, what do I need in my hand? Love Team, Unconditional Love, Dominant, and Equal Partners. All right, and for our starting hand, we're going to each take 3 sweet cards.
Okay.
1 serious card and 1 drama card.
1, 2, 3 sweet. Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
3 sweet, 1 drama, and 1 serious.
You got it.
1 drama, 1 serious. Serious. 1, 2, 3 sweet.
All right, and so our hands are set up.
All right.
And now we'll build characters. So I'm going to give each of us 5 traits to choose from, and you're going to choose 3, and these are all secret until the end of the game. All right. So here's your traits to choose from for your character. And you put them in this thing secret. I always get confused about which way it's supposed to face you to work, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I'm picking one of these?
Or you're picking 3 of them.
3 of them, got it.
And these will be the 3 traits that define your sort of the core of your character.
All right, I am set.
Awesome. And so the next thing we'll do is pick an occupation.
All right.
And we'll get 3 each. These won't be secret. So you can go ahead and just reveal it right away if you want to.
Yeah.
We'll have to like sort of introduce our characters to each other at some point here, but there's really not a reason to keep these occupations secret.
All right.
All right. So let's see. I need to come up with a good name. Okay. I've got a name for my character.
All right, I also have a name for my character.
All right, awesome. Okay, so I guess I think the best thing to do right now would be to introduce our characters to each other, and then I'll just go over. There's player aid cards that we have, so I'll go over a couple other just details that may come up in the game, and then we'll do after we introduce our characters to each other. Part of the introduction is sort of the features. We haven't done that yet, so we'll tell each other what we found attractive about each other during this sort of friends party that we were both at when we met each other. So, do you want to introduce your character first?
My character is Lynn Landry. She is a firefighter. She is actually she's actually kind of high up in the fire department. She is, I think probably like a captain. I think they have captains. Whatever,
sure,
the head of whatever.
They do.
Yeah. She's a very decorated firefighter. She's done a lot. She is she's very tall. She's a little bit, jacked. And she is just, I think at the party, what she's doing at the party is there's probably 3 or 4 people smoking cigars in a corner, and she's just there kind of telling work stories.
Okay.
Which is generally where she's at most parties. Is because when the rare cases when she gets to parties, these are my opportunities to kind of work, unwind after work. So, especially because I probably work weird hours as a firefighter. Yeah, so these are definitely my opportunities just to be this is what happened to me today. Let me tell you about it. And so she's kind of sitting there. She's got a cigar and, is probably still dressed very nice though. Like a really cute dress, which is showing off her, beefcake arms.
Okay.
And she's just hanging out what a day. You don't cook popcorn. Don't cook popcorn in the microwave if you're not going to have a popcorn setting. It's not hard. They all have popcorn settings. Don't just assume, it's fine. A few kernels didn't pop. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
I'm going to play Randall Salmon. Randall Salmon is a teacher by trade. Mm-hmm. And I think he's at this party because he was invited by his friend, and he would have been really concerned that if he didn't show up, his friend would have been like, well, why didn't he show up? And is he mad at me? And I don't want my friend to think that I'm mad at him. So I had to come to this party. I didn't really so much want to, but, I'm here and I'm doing what I do to make small talk. I mean, after all, it was a long week. I teach high school, and those kids are crazy. And so, the last thing I really want to do is come to a party like this when I'm exhausted. But it's also really important to be a good friend. So, here I am. And I'm sort of doing the awkward thing where I'm walking around the party. I don't really know anybody. I'm trying to, I wish I could get into some conversations. They're standing in sort of a circle. It's really hard for me to move into the circle to talk to them. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be rude about it, but I kind of want to giggle and maybe if I laugh, they'll pull me into their conversation, and maybe if I stand close to the food, I'll meet somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's sort of what I think. Perfect. I think that's what Randall is doing at the party. Great. So now we'll do features, which are the things we found attractive about each other. So we're going to give each other 3, and we're going to tell in character about how we were attracted to the other person with this thing, whatever it is. I'm going to give you 5 to choose from, but you're going to pick 3.
Okay. And we'll go back and forth, I think, 1 for 1, 1 for 1, because that'll make the best rhythm.
Absolutely. So I think this is 5.
All right. I got mine.
All right, who do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Go for it.
I'm gonna put down stuttering. Do you want to take? Yeah, stuttering. I think at the party, you were so clearly flustered and trying to get into things that every time you tried to speak, it was sort of well, I think that. But the thing is, I should probably start here. I kind of,
exactly.
I'm kind of sitting there, drinking cigar in hand, this is honestly pretty cute.
Awesome. The one thing I should mention is as you give me these, and actually it applies for our occupations too, they give us a point on the corresponding personality dimension. I forgot to mention that. So if you'll see there's an image on these cards that tells you which way to go. If it's down, it's down. If it's up, it's up.
Got it.
You got it. All right. So as I'm sort of fumbling my way around the party trying to be social, I dropped something. I dropped like some Cheetos that were on my plate, and I bent down to pick them up. And when I lifted my head, I saw some of the most amazing high heels that I've ever seen. And like, I was so surprised to see this lady with these beefy arms and just these amazing high heels. And it was just so sexy.
And I really liked, the thing I liked about you is, you know, I was rocking the dress, the heels. Like, I came to party, and everybody else is kind of like maybe wearing a nice sweater and jeans. You actually dressed up. You had a really fancy tie. You were kind of, you kind of also treated this as like a social event and not just friends hanging around. And I think that was honestly kind of like, it was sexy. It was sexy. It was different. You know, it wasn't what everyone else was doing. But it was what I was doing.
See, and you got me right away. You got me because it was definitely like, not just because this is an important thing. Like, I have to dress up for this. This is a very important situation. And so the next thing I was attracted to when I saw you was when you smiled. I mean, it seems silly. Yeah, you know, you have a beautiful smile. Sure, lots of people say that. But there was just something about your stunningly perfect teeth that were just, it was just really attractive for me. Like, I probably wouldn't even admit it out loud, but it was just really attractive to me.
The thing that I noticed, like we briefly talked, and, you know, a firefighter is supposed to, like, notice things. Like, it's kind of in the job. You were wearing blush. Just a little bit of, like, foundation. And, you know, it kind of goes along with the tie. Like, you took care to take care of yourself and to, you know, really make it pop. And that was great. Like, that was super sexy because it meant that you were confident, but in a way, you were confident in putting on a little blush and makeup. And I thought that was unbelievable.
And as I was watching you, sort of before we even spoke to each other, I noticed that even though you seemed at first to, like, have all this confidence, and, like, why wouldn't you? I mean, goodness. But, like, I did notice that your hands were a little shaky. And I thought, I think this person's concealing a little bit of nerves and doesn't want to reveal it. But, like, I noticed that it was there. And I thought that was just a level of sincerity that I really appreciated. That was underneath. Yeah. So, there's our characters. Yep. And so I just want to really quickly, could you pass me the player aid card, please?
Sure could.
Thank you very much. I just want to really quickly mention there are a couple other, like, card types you could come across, and you'll see they're on there. Situations, they affect the next scene they'll be played. Secrets, I already mentioned, they play face down. You put them underneath here. It doesn't really matter where you put them, but they're secret. Minor scenes don't count towards chapter length, and they'll go over there in the discard pile.
Okay.
Everything else will sort of make sense as it comes across. But I wanted you to know that there are a few other card types when you're looking at that, like, sort of may not, like I said, may not count towards scene length or chapter length or whatever. Okay, so we've given our synopsis, and I can put that on the board, and then we could do chapter 1. If you're ready, we can go on.
I am ready.
Fantastic. Chapter 1 says, so where should we go? You met through a friend yesterday. Today, you're going on your first date. How do you suggest starting the day? Now, we're both going to choose. And this is sort of a question I should have asked you this beforehand. You may want to edit this out. But because you've never played before.
Sure.
The way Mel and I typically do it is we used to read all of the options out. We typically don't do that anymore. We typically both look at it. You decide
and then kind of play it out.
And then kind of play it out.
That sounds great.
If you want to do that, we can.
That sounds great.
The chips here are for, these are how you decide what you're going to do. If you can't reach the thing, we may just hold it and flip it up. That might be the best.
That'll work.
All right, so I'm going to look at this and decide how I'm going to choose.
All right. I have mine.
And I have mine.
All right.
Do you want to...
Let's read them now. And then
okay.
And then we'll kind of roll. Actually, we'll play it out.
Yeah,
we'll play it out. Yeah. Okay. So where are we going? What's the plan?
See that again?
Yeah.
You know what? I just oh boy, I really like sort of, I don't know if you feel this way, but I really sort of like classic dates, and I'd really like to just like maybe get lunch and sit down to really, I just really would like a chance to talk and get to know each other.
Yeah, that sounds great. Here's what I'm thinking. Like, that sounds great. I was kind of thinking, being that I actually have the day off, like, I'd kind of just love to, like, go around for a little while and, like, see some stuff. Because, like, the thing is, like, I've lived in this city for so many years, but my schedule being what it is, I don't really ever get to do stuff. So I kind of was thinking maybe we could, like, do some touristy things, like get lunch in the middle, see a couple things, stop for lunch, get to know each other, chat, and then
sure.
do a little bit of, like, a sightseeing tour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds so lovely. It sounds so nice.
Awesome.
So we didn't actually match.
We did not match.
Which means that we agreed to do a bit of both of our suggestions.
Yep.
And so we both get plus 10 happiness right out of the jump.
All right.
Which is actually a lot. So you'll start marking your happiness, and 10 is right in the middle there. So you already just start with 10.
Yep.
I think they do that in this first scenario as like you're starting very happy.
Right.
So I'll put that here. And now we'll take turns playing scenes.
Yep.
We'll play 3 each. We'll do 6 going back and forth. Do you want to pick the scene first?
Why don't you pick the first scene?
Sure. Let's see. Oh boy, my selection is. Oh my goodness! I just got the strangest options.
Good. I also have very good, strange options.
Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna right from the jump. My character has a secret.
Okay.
So I'm going to play a secret card, and that secret is in play in our relationship.
Okay.
So now I'm throwing it back to you then.
All right.
Oh, and in this scene, when you play a card, you draw a new one from the sweet deck only. This
perfect. I'm going to play. Are you thinking about? It is. I bet you're thinking it. So we've gone to. What do you think is the first thing that we went to see before lunch? I think we probably did one like touristy thing before lunch.
Oh, before lunch. Well, okay. Do you want to play here in the city?
Yeah, we can play Philadelphia.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we probably touristy thing, huh?
You probably. I would probably say we did the Liberty Bell.
That's what I was
first.
thinking. Yeah.
Because in my, like, I think Lynn starts out the date with, like, we should get to the Liberty Bell first because there's going to be a line out the wazoo. Believe me, you would not know how many times that crowd flow has become an issue.
Oh, that sounds bad.
But we should probably do that
totally agree. Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Let's do that first. So we do that.
And they'll go, like, on this pile.
Oh, got it. So we do that first, and then we're at lunch, and I'm just we're sitting around, we're chatting. And I'm kind of just like, I look you in the eyes, I'm just like, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Do you already know your answer?
Yes, I do.
I figured you probably went in knowing your answer. So Randall's going to say, probably not, because I just was so moved by, at the Liberty Bell, they had all that really, really cool, the really neat exhibit when you're walking in, and all that stuff about the slaves that built so much of this city, and just like all the stuff they've been finding about slaves right here in Philadelphia. And I call me naive, but just growing up in the North, I just sort of don't identify that way, but just you really have to face it head on, and just like the history and legacy of slavery is just got me a little bit down. I'm sorry. I know that's not really
it's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
What were you thinking about?
Don't worry about it. It's not even a big deal. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that your butt looked really good in those jeans. I didn't, but it's a little weird now with the.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not. I don't mean that. No, you didn't mess it up. I was kind of trying, being playful, and it didn't come out that way.
Thank you. That's fine. So nice of you.
I'm glad that you think that.
All right. So for that choice, you'll get one extra version.
Yep. We did not match, though.
We did. Oh, yeah.
So does not go up.
So I think it goes down. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nothing happens.
Yep.
For not matching. Great.
No, it's fine. Yeah. Not even a problem. Just sorry. I was just, I'm trying to do the playful date thing. I don't know if it came across.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm just not good at picking up those sort of things. That's just kind of how I am. You'll kind of get to know that about
me, I guess. We'll get there.
Okay. So I imagine that, like, we take a wrong turn somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we got lunch. I think maybe we went to Chinatown for lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're, like, kind of walking around that area of the city and, like, kind of maybe take a couple of turns. We're talking. We're not really thinking about what we're doing. And then I was like, I was trying to, like, kind of show off a little bit. Be like, oh, yeah, I know this area so well. I definitely know where I'm going now. I'm like, yeah, I meant to take us here because I was hoping we could do this. And then I, like, turned to look at what I'm pointing at, and I realized it's a erotic movie theater.
Oh, no.
That I brought us to. And now I'm, like, gesturing towards it, like, we should do, and then I kind of turn and look at it and realize what it is. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, so there's one of two things that has happened right now. Either you're being genuine, or you're joking. Either way, this is the best date that I have had in a long time. I am going to, I think I'm laughing and I'm like, you know what? Fine. Let's do it. That sounds great.
Okay.
Let's go. I mean, unless you're going to admit that you took us to the wrong spot.
No. I thought this would be fun. Let's do it.
Okay. Sounds great. I'm really excited. This is going to be fun.
Oh, definitely. Me too. I'm definitely really, really excited.
This is going to be really fun. I don't have a problem with that stuff. I don't have a problem with porn. I'm fine with that.
And actually, I get +1 happiness for that.
All right,
because you chose it. All right, you're scene.
All right, so this one's good. This actually works out really nicely. Should I have 5 cards or 6? 5. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're at the theater, and we leave, and I'm kind of laughing, and I'm like, I cannot believe that was ghost hunting. Really did not think that was where that movie was going to go.
No, right? I totally did.
I kind of wish that we had gotten more ghost hunting, if I'm being honest.
I know. It would have been. It was almost better than the new Ghostbusters movie.
I know. It was. Wow, that turned out to be a better movie than I expected. Production values were a little better than I thought. And we take a few more turns, and we actually end up at a fortune teller. One of the ones in, like, Old City.
Sure.
And we're kind of like, hey, did you want to take a look? I mean,
this day is definitely different than I thought it was going to be, so maybe.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Yeah, so pick your answer.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I don't know that I necessarily go in for this stuff, but, like, I figure it's kind of fun.
I say...
Sounds great.
To hell with it, let's do it.
Let's do it a shot. Let's see what happens. We're both into it, which means we match.
Yeah.
Which means...
If you could put that on Curious for me.
Sure can.
Thank you. And you'll need one there also.
All right.
And let's see. Because, what happens if we match?
What happens if we match?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
What happened?
Match Bad Omens.
Oh, no.
We both get -1 happiness.
Oh, no.
And wait, who played this? You did,
I played it.
You draw a drama scene.
Okay.
This is a bonus drama scene you get in your hand in addition to whatever else you have.
Okay.
We both got -1 happiness. Wow. Because I guess we went in and the fortune teller gave us a bad omen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's intense. I wonder what the fortune teller said to us.
Oh, that doesn't sound... I don't know. It's probably something real bad.
Boy, oh boy. All right, so I think we try to shake off. It's still the first date, and we try to shake off that experience, and we say, do you want to just go shopping a little bit before we're down here? There's some good stores around here. Do you want to just go shopping? Yeah,
that sounds great.
Fantastic. That'd be really good. That feels like a good way to sort of shake off that weird vibe from that fortune teller. I've never done that before. It's not what I was expecting it to be. Really dark and ominous, actually.
Yeah.
Compared to what I thought. Well, anyway, so we go in, I'm trying on some clothes, and I try on some pants. And I since you made a comment about my butt earlier, I figure I'm going to kind of be a little flirty and show them off. So I bring I wear these pants, and I come out of the dressing room, and I say, so, what do you think? Do these fit me? And you're going to choose how you respond, but I'm going to choose secretly how I want you to respond.
Okay. Yeah. There.
Yeah. Great. So what do you say?
Yeah, I think they look great, but honestly, I kind of think that they're not your style. I think that they're consciously they're kind of here it is, and I kind of like that you're dressing,
Oh.
Like you're not sure.
No. That
It's
makes
like you're not showing it off, and I think that's kind of what makes it even better. Like,
okay.
You don't necessarily want something that's going to make it like, pow.
Yeah, I guess leather pants were not a great idea.
I don't see you as a leather pants kind of guy.
You're right about that. Definitely right about that. Well, we didn't match because I was actually hoping you were going to say that they looked perfect as sort of like really wanting that first date feedback.
Right? Yeah. I'm.
I went out on a limb to wear leather pants.
You did. Look, Jeff is giving you nothing but commendation.
All right, so
Jeff is giving you nothing but props. It's just Lynn feels different,
right? Yeah,
but Lynn wants you to be you. That's what's attractive to her.
Well, the only one of us that loses happiness for that is me.
Understandable.
So actually, I'm here. All right. So it's your scene.
All right. So I think we're getting a drink. We're at a bar, and we're just kind of like chatting. And I just kind of, we're swapping, we're doing the questions thing that you do on a first date.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why don't you tell me if you could be here right now, present company excluded, because obviously I am the best option you're going to get.
Oh, definitely, of course.
If you could be here,
I don't even know what you're going to ask yet. I know, of course.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But if you could be here with any other one person, who would it be and why?
Oh.
So you're going to answer that question. Who would be your dream dinner guest or your dream bar guest, or what's your dream answer?
I'm sort of inspired by our day we've had here, and this has just always been true about me. I teach history, and I love history, and that's why I love living in Philadelphia. There's just so much rich history here, and probably my favorite historical figure from the city is Ben Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to sit at a bar and drink with Ben Franklin because he's just like, he's just the man, right? Like he wrote under all those pseudonyms and he's just like all those cool catchphrases. I don't know. And he fought for freedom of the press and he was so instrumental in the formation of our country.
Sure.
Yeah. I'd love to just sit here and have a couple of beers and see what happens when he gets drunk.
Here's the thing.
Gets a little randy.
Here's the thing about Ben Franklin that I love though. Dude loved a good fart joke.
Yes, he did.
Nothing but respect for a man that loves a good fart joke.
That's right, he did. Yeah. That might make me a little uncomfortable actually, but if it's Ben Franklin, it's Ben Franklin.
Yeah, you're not gonna tell Ben Franklin to dial it back. It's Ben Franklin.
So I didn't actually put one for this one on there, right? Because I am surprised how many I already have here. I'm curious. That's fascinating. Let's see.
We have 6. We have 6. Oh, I think that is scene 6. I'm pretty sure.
5.
Okay, so yeah, your last scene. Yeah.
All right. So this will be the end of chapter 1.
So quick off mic rules question. A choice is the A, B, C, D, right?
Yes.
Okay, just check.
So minor scenes you can discard and you can draw a new scene, and I'm going to do that now because I don't want that, and I want to see what else I can get. Oh, perfect. So we're walking around the city at the end of the date. It's like been a long day. We've had my character at least thinks we've had a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And we're walking around and we come across, there's sort of an event going on in the city it's like have you ever seen one of those publicity events for like a new TV show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like the new season of what's a show that could be? Like the first thing that came to my mind was like Game of Thrones starting, and they've got like a big fake Iron Throne, and
the set for Creed 3.
That's perfect. Yeah. There you go. So it's a set for Creed 3, and they have like a Rocky standee and a Creed standee, and you can like put your face in it and take a photo. Or actually, it's better for this card if they have the standees and you take a picture next to them. Yeah. And so there's a photographer there and asks us, go ahead and pose together. And I'm like, oh, so how do you want to pose for this picture? And so we're going to choose how we want to pose for this photo together, sort of to culminate our date as like a good keepsake from our first day together.
All right. I am ready.
So I say, I was actually kind of thinking maybe you could like wrap the strong firefighter arms around me and cuddle up a little bit here.
That sounds fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah, I figure.
Great.
I mean, I'm not gonna not get these on camera.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're great. Wow, that's awesome.
Choose A and B. We both get 2 happiness.
Woohoo!
Hooray!
Yep. And I'm a little more sensitive. And you're a little less, actually. All right.
All right.
So that's the end of chapter 1.
That's the end of chapter 1. Now, question. Mm-hmm. What happens if we meet a trait goal? Do we hold on to that to the end of the game?
You hold on to it till the end of the game.
Okay. Fantastic.
I think I need to grab one of these from the last card I played. And I'm going to let you read the first card, the chapter 2 card.
Okay, sounds great.
Setting up chapter 2.
Sounds great. This is going really well. We seem to have a great connection, but how great is it really? We're both going to choose one of the following options. All right, so we're going to make our choice, and then we will play that out.
So I'm ready.
I am also ready.
So these, I guess this is the kind of thing that's probably like going on in our mind, but not so much what we say to each other. So you want to kind of give a, this is what's going on in Lynn's head?
Yeah, I think Lynn is like, I really like him. I like him a lot, and I like him, and I'm going to... I don't see any reason not to go hard on this because we have great chemistry. We get along really well. I think that this is going really well. This is going really spectacularly well. I don't see why we can't just go full steam ahead.
So Randy's really been thinking about this a lot, and I mean, so much so he is thinking of himself as Randy and not just Randall, and that must be a level of comfort. But Randall thinks that we have a really good connection. Like he feels a real strong connection with Lynn. And this could be the start of something absolutely beautiful. But we didn't match.
We did not match.
But now you're going to discard a destiny, but you may not discard unconditional love, and I may not discard a love team.
Got it.
I'm going to play the first scene of chapter 2. So I guess some time has passed, and we've been doing some dating. We go on a date, and I'm kind of nervous, and I haven't really said why yet. And eventually, I sort of work up the nerve, and I say, Lynn, I got to tell you something that's been kind of bothering me. I'm a little nervous about it, but I don't know. Ever since you got that new haircut, I really like it. I really do. I really like it. I told you it looks great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think more people are flirting with you.
I mean, probably, right? Like that's kind of what happens when you get a great haircut.
Does it actually say both choose? Now I forget.
It says both choose.
Okay. How I want you to read it, right? Okay.
Yeah. People are flirting with me. Like it's not an uncommon experience. I'm kind of fine with that. And plus it's like, you got me. Like that's got to feel kind of cool, right? Like you're the guy that won. Like, I mean, besides, I don't want them. I want you.
Yeah, you know what? I was jealous at first, if I'm being honest with you. Like, and it was bothering me a little bit. But then I thought about how, like, you're really hot. Like, hotter than me, actually. And honestly, I feel a little bit
I think we're equally hot in our own ways.
Well, thank you. And but I thought it's cool they get to be out with such a beautiful person. So I kind of like it.
I'm into it. We're hot together. We just have to own the fact that we're hot together. And what am I putting down? I'm putting down...
Same one. Yep. And now we get some happiness.
Which is this one, right?
Yep.
We both get some happiness. 2 happiness.
There we go.
All right.
And it is your scene.
I am going to... Let's see. I think we're like...
And just so you know, this time we draw from the serious stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
When you play a scene.
I am going to... As we're talking about this, I'm like... Playfully, like, we're talking about this, we're kind of sharing this, and I kind of, start rubbing your foot under the table, and I'm like, I mean, look, like, we're hot. Like, it's kind of great, right? In fact, I mean, we could just, I mean, if people want to look, if people want us to put on a show, we could put on a show. I mean, I'm just, it's a nice day out. Who's to say people don't see what they see, Let's say we don't have a little fun.
All right. Do you know how you want me to react to this?
I think I do.
I'll let you look.
Yes, I do.
All right. So the way I react to you saying that is I go,
oh.
That's so funny. What a funny joke.
Good joke
that you made.
Great joke.
Because obviously no one would ever, no same person
right,
would ever actually do that.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No. Of course.
Okay, good. Whew. For a second, I thought maybe you were being serious, but then, like, of course, you were obviously joking.
Yeah, right. No, I mean,
nobody's that hot, right?
Yeah, right. Of course. Oh, this is bad. We each lose 3 happiness.
Oh, no.
Because I chose A, which is, if you're into it, I'm into it, and you chose D, which is, this is perverse.
I couldn't be that, like, mean about how I said it.
Yeah.
So
No, I appreciated that.
I think that we're at your place.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is even the first time I've been to your place.
Yep.
And I come out of the bathroom, never awkward when you're dating somebody. And I'm like kind of fidgety. And I'm like, hey, Lynn, I have a question. It's kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Do you want me to, like, should I go back? Like, do you prefer, okay, the toilet seat is what I'm trying to get at.
Sure.
The lid.
Yeah.
Like, should it be up or down? Like, what do you...
Yeah, sure.
Like, what is your preference?
Sure.
It's weird that it's a both choose.
Yep.
It's because I think, like, they imagine you both have preferences.
Yes.
If you need it.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah, lid down, bowl down. I'm not.
Oh,
it's
sure.
gonna be. I'm not. I don't. Do you see how much work I put into this apartment? I
know. I do. I know.
I don't want your business stinking up my apartment.
I mean, what kind of monster?
I don't want my
are
business
you?
stinking up my apartment.
Of course not.
Okay, that's actually kind of a relief.
Whew.
Thank you for, having a basic respect for sanitation. I appreciate that.
I know. Well, I've dated other people and...
Sure. It comes up. It's like this weird drama scene within romance. I don't understand.
I don't understand it
I mean,
either.
because everybody should just be keeping them down all the time.
Exactly. Absolutely. So we both get +3 happiness.
Hooray!
There's our 3 happiness back. And I draw a serious scene for some reason. Oh. This might be one.
All right.
Well, maybe the story just goes there.
It is my turn?
Yes, it is.
All right. So we're on the couch. We've had a few dates. We're on the couch, and I'm sitting back. We're looking at the TV, and kind of unprompted, I'm just like, so what's going on with us?
Oh, good question.
Like, what's the deal? Like, help me through this. Where are we? I mean, like,
that's a great question.
What am I doing on Facebook? What's the Facebook situation?
Oh, I see what you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking much more than this, but it's sort of I'm trying to do the teacher thing of an analogy. It's what's going on here?
Yeah. Oh, good question.
Both choose. So what's the status? Are we complicated? Are we casual? What are we doing here?
Well, I think it's a great question what we're doing here, but I got to tell you something. Maybe it's a little weird, I know, but it goes back to the fact that I'm a teacher and I always felt kind of weird about it, but I actually don't have a Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Like, because honestly, I mean, real life is the thing that matters to me.
Yeah,
I just don't get this whole social media thing, so it's just never been my thing.
Okay. Well, if you had a Facebook, I would ask you to kind of update it, because I kind of see this as being a serious thing, but if you don't have a Facebook, then you don't have a Facebook, and that's not a problem. Kind of, yeah, I guess that would make sense if you were a teacher. You don't want to be, like, up in the student's business.
I'm just always worried of what people are going to see me up to.
Sure. You don't, one wrong thing and you're fired. I get that, yeah.
I think about it a lot, actually. I'm just worried, like, someone's going to find out about, I don't know, I don't even really do anything that could get me fired, so, but I just worry about it.
Sure, yeah. No, that's a fair answer to the literal question that I asked, and nothing else is happening here. So we each lose 3 happiness.
There goes that 3.
Yep. Because I'm just like, yep, that's what we were talking about. Nothing else. Way to pick up on that.
And now, so I say, so I love that you say it that way, so that way I can say, oh, good, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Sure are.
All right, we got 2 more scenes in this chapter, and I'm going to play this card. So we're at your place, and I just feel like, I think for Randall, he's so nervous that he drinks more than he means to, and he doesn't usually drink much, so, like, he just gets drunk, and I think it's silly and sloppy, and I think, I think it's probably a night where we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the next morning, I'm like, I wake up, and if you've ever woken up hungover, you know that there's sort of phases to it. There's sort of like ouch phase. You're like, what is happening? Why am I alive? This is the worst. And then you like start to think, where am I? okay, I realize I'm in Lynn's bedroom, in Lynn's bed for the first time. And then I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome. And then I just think about and remember the night before. And then like at some point, as we're sort of just laying there, and I think you're still not even moving, I have this really frightening realization that I didn't have any condoms with me when I came here last night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we used condoms at all when we had sex.
Mm.
And so I'm playing the card unprotected sex.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And so we're both going to choose what we do in this situation.
Yep.
Now, normally this card's actually not a part of this scenario, but
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
This should be interesting. Oh, I will need to see it again because I actually just realized I didn't even decide how I would react to this.
Yep. Nope. I got it.
Just wanted to play it so badly. This is tough. I think you should go first because ultimately, I mean, it's pretty much entirely your character's decision what you do. But there's what I will hope for, I guess.
And she's kind of like, well, just take the pill. I don't see what the problem is. Like, it's I had planned for us to go out, and so I don't see. Yeah, were you not like thinking that was where the night was maybe going to go? Because that seemed like where we were headed. So.
I honestly wasn't thinking that far ahead. I guess of course that's where the night was going. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah,
too much drink. What can I say? I just didn't really think about it.
That's a heavy loss of happiness. That is -5 happiness.
Oh, is it really? Ooh, yikes!
So I think after round 3, we might have to have an actual talk about whether or not we do end up. I know the cards say one thing, but we're going to have to have a real talk.
Well, I'm sure we can figure out, like, even if we can
always just, Okay, so that is, is that the last round of round 2?
No, we have one more scene in this chapter, and that'll be yours to play.
I'm actually going to play a reaction, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like, I've got, so we're kind of at odds a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play a reaction of, you don't really mean that. Play after a choice made by a partner, you alter the choice to something else.
Oh, wow.
That actually works really well.
Yeah.
So you lose 2 happiness, but then we each gain 5 happiness.
So I'm going to gain 3 back.
Yep. So that's perfect. Because I'm kind of like...
I think that Randall thinks about it and realizes... Of course you need to do that.
I mean, we're, I like you a lot. But I don't know if we're necessarily, like, roll those dice together.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that Randall just, like, after, like, the hangover wears off, he's starting to think about it and realizes, like, geez, what in the world would I have been thinking? Like, you gotta do something about that. That would be insane.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, like, it's responsible. If we're going to be adults and do this, we have to be responsible and consider things, or else things get real tricky real quick.
Absolutely. And of course, I think I totally am the kind of person that believes that it's each woman's right to decide what to do with her body. So
yeah, and so I think it's probably fine. Okay, so
all right, so that actually doesn't count towards
towards scene. So I draw a
serious card.
Does not count towards scene length. Yep. Okay, so
by the way, so now I'll play the next card. This chapter. So
I'm sorry. I got one more scene because that didn't count towards the scene.
Oh, sure.
So yeah,
go for it.
Okay, so it's the next morning. Did you want to? It's the next morning. I got one more day off. What do you want to do today? I kind of want to spend it together, enjoy it while we have the opportunity. What do you want? What do you want to do today?
Oh, what do I want to do today?
Yeah, you tell me. Like what? Like there's a lot of stuff going on. Philly's a magnificent city. Where do you see the day going?
There is a downtown today. I've been seeing like all week long posters at like SEPTA stops and on the side of buses that there's this really cool down by the waterfront. There's this like really cool wine fair going on. And I just I really want to go to that wine fair. I've been thinking about
okay, but hear me out.
Uh-huh.
The gun show is also this weekend.
Like guns?
Like Bang Pow Pow Bang gun show is this weekend.
I like your gun show.
That's
you know
fair.
what I'm saying?
I do have a pretty good gun show.
You do. It's really great. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not real. I don't know if after last night either of us should be imbibing anything, if I'm being honest.
I guess you're right. I hadn't really thought about it like that way.
So what if we just kind of like, hit up some shops, do a little window shopping?
Okay.
And, I mean, it's, I just don't think that, I mean, I don't want to take you to a gun show if you're not,
it's not
feeling
really
comfortable.
My thing. I didn't know you were into guns.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of a cool thing. It goes real loud. You shoot a target. It's kind of cool.
I like loud things, if I'm being
That's
truthful.
fair. That's understandable.
So what happens for our not match?
We both lose 1 happiness.
Yeah, well, it could be worse.
Yeah, we're both pretty happy at this point.
You're definitely happy. You are in fact, more than twice as happy as I am.
Yes.
So there you go. All right, so that is chapter 2. So it is time for chapter 3.
And so do we discard a destiny? Let's see what
we don't know yet.
Yeah, all right, got it.
We're discussing your future and dreams. Oh, that's a nice conversation to have. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Both choose. I think that Randall probably brings up the conversation and says, I've been thinking a lot lately about where my life is headed, and I was just wondering if you ever think about that kind of thing. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What kind of commitments, career, all that stuff.
That's a hard question. It's a really hard question because the thing is, I'm a firefighter.
That's true.
Planning anything is a little difficult for me because, being the job that I have, I don't know if it's a responsible decision to, have a family, marriage is one thing, but I kind of see it being kind of just, live, me and one other person.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because honestly, every time you go off to work, I really worry the whole time.
Right, and that's kind of where I'm at too. Is I don't know if this is necessarily where we want to go.
I'm always, if I'm just being honest about myself, I always I love kids. That's why I'm a teacher, and I always sort of assumed I would end up. I just sort of assumed I'd end up married with children.
Okay.
But that's a long time from now. I mean, 10 years and a lot can change.
Yeah. I mean, I might have a desk job by then. I might not be driving the truck at that point.
That's a good point. Well, unfortunately,
we both lose a happiness.
4 happiness.
Is it 4 happiness?
It's this one. Yeah, it's 4 happiness. It's this card.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong one.
It's that card. We got 4 happiness. 4 happiness. Yeah.
Goodness, no.
We didn't like that. That conversation didn't go well.
Did not like it. Okay.
I'll let you play the first scene of chapter 3.
Okay. Chapter 3 begins... Oh, this is a good complication. This is a good complication.
I love good complications.
So we're talking about the future, right? We're talking about what's coming, and I'm kind of so something came up. And remember how I was saying, we could maybe, have a life together if I had a desk job?
Yeah.
I might have a desk job.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in Lancaster.
Oh.
But it's we could, it's a draw. It's not a far drive. We could do that on the weekends, if you, until you wanted to move out.
But it would be a desk job.
Yeah, it would be a desk job. I would be at a desk. Yeah, it's a great job. It's a promotion. It is stability. It is a 9 to 5, which I have never had. But it's just, the only thing is it's not in Philly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Boy. That's a lot to think about.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not in Philadelphia.
I definitely know how I respond.
All right, let me see. Take one more look. Yeah, all right.
Do you want me to respond first?
Yeah, respond.
You know what? I think this is great, actually. So hold on. Let me take what back by saying it's great, because what I really mean is that it's awful. I don't want to be apart from you. I really enjoy all of our time together. But like, even though that part is awful, like, it's great because we really could use the extra money for, sort of maybe building a future together. I don't know. I was kind of hoping maybe we could. And the fact that this is going to take you away from that dangerous stuff. I mean, like, I respect so much what you do, but I worry all the time about it. And sometimes it keeps me up at night when you're doing overnights and I'm alone. Like, it just really worries me.
Sure. I guess I kind of saw it as like a cool thing. I don't know that I necessarily see what I have as that big of a drag, but I think like I kind of see it as a cool opportunity. I mean, it's not like we can't video chat. We're in 2018. We can really do whatever.
Sure, you can help me set it up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's not difficult at all.
All right. Well, we did not. Well, we matched A and B, and I will have to see what that means.
Matching A and B means I drop 3 happiness.
Oh.
So 10, 9, 8 happiness. And I can swap in... Oh, sorry, no match is while we're considering the job offer is canceled.
No, but we got match A and B.
Oh, match A or B. It says match A or B.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I
thought it was, oh, no.
Oh, okay, so I'm actually at 9 happiness. So we're kind of talking about it. I think we spend a few days kind of being like... I think what happens is, because we were kind of in agreement, I think what happens is, like, Lynn starts to doubt, and Lynn never doubts, right? Like, Lynn never doubts herself, and she starts to doubt it, and she just does not send that email, and then soon, in a couple days, she gets that email, and she has to be like, yeah, they passed on me for the job. Which is fine. I'm here now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame, though.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for it.
Yeah, it kind of was too, but, well, such is life.
Yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. Because we chose... So you actually get... Let's see. You actually are going to end up with +2 happiness.
Okay.
Because we both chose... the player gets... player of the card gets +2 happiness for the choices we made.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both did say hey, we're good with this decision. But then because the job offer was canceled, you lost 2. So you ended up netting a loss of 2.
Okay.
And I actually, you know what? I'm down to 1 happiness.
Oh, goodness.
Randall's actually kind of miserable now. That I didn't realize that, but that's not good. All right.
Poor Randall.
This time you're going to be drawing from drama.
All right. Yeah, that was my scene.
Yeah. Well, it seems practical to me that since you're going to be sticking around Philly and you're not going away, and we've been talking about the future, I think it would make sense for us to have a joint bank account. I mean, what do you think? How much should we pool together to do that, if you think that's something that makes sense?
Yeah, I think... Let me see the choices.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll answer that now.
Right, exactly. It is tempting sometimes because when you know how your character would respond. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, how much should we pull together?
Well, let's look at the numbers. Let's figure out where we're at. I mean, let's see where we're going. Let's kind of put in, we need this much is rent. I'd be fine moving into your place. You'd be fine moving into mine. So we would just have to put aside this much for rent, food, fine, and I think we could collectively kind of make this work. We just want to make sure we have the money that we need for the stuff that we need. I just figure if we're going to be sharing a bank account, we want to be sharing the bank account sharing the bank account the way that I manage my bank account.
Oh, yeah, no, that makes the most sense, definitely. That makes total perfect sense. I was thinking that, we should... I had been thinking of it we're a couple, we should just put everything together, but the way you're talking about it is just makes so much more sense. It's so pragmatic, and I definitely think you're right about that. So we end up with the least committing option.
Yep.
And we lose 2 happiness, which I can't do.
You're at 0.
I am.
Poor Randall.
We were at one point pretty happy.
Which tells me I'm going to go with... What do I want to go with? Which of my scenarios do I want to go with?
That's a tough choice.
You know what? If the story we're telling is what we're telling, I'm going to go with... So, Yeah, that's the story. That's the relationship that we're playing out. We're definitely having a stupid fight. What are we fighting about? Oh, it's probably money, because we just had the money conversation. So I'm like, I think we're probably out. We're like, oh, should we get another round of drinks? No, we shouldn't. We're kind of close enough to budget. We have a little more budget, but I don't want to cost that. I don't want to,
Wait, you don't think we should stay and have a couple more drinks?
No, I feel like we're close enough to budget. We can go home. We have booze at the house.
But I'm out. I'm having a good time. I don't really want to.
Yeah, but we can be out and having a good time at the house.
But that's not out. It's at the house.
Yeah, but we could have fun at the house.
Like I don't understand. You used to want to go out and do stuff out in public.
Yeah,
I
like
you just always want to be back at the house.
Well, because I thought I was getting a promotion that I didn't get. I thought there was a great job on the table, and now I'm a little bit more aware of my financial situation.
Oh, fine. So, okay. All right, fine. We'll go back then. We'll do that. Fine. I guess we have to decide how we're going to react.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think that what I say is I miss the days when we could just stay out and have fun and not really worry about those things. But sure, I guess you didn't get the promotion. You're right. And so maybe we should be careful, I guess.
Okay. One more drink. One more round. It's happy hour. We can make that work. I've got leftovers in the fridge for lunch tomorrow anyway. I don't want to I want to make sure we're saving money where we can, but you're right. One drink isn't going to land us in the poorhouse. More like the poorhouse!
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's funny because for this card, usually if you match, there's a good effect. Mm-hmm. For this one, because we matched in a really frustrating way where we're still believe we're mostly right, but we're going to give in a little. There is not a negative, but there's also not a positive. Okay. So actually there is a negative, which is we both get -2 happiness still. I don't.
You don't. You don't, because our relationship is slowly crumbling.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I hate to compound the problems. But
that's fine. That's fine.
So another drink, and I say, you know what? I know we're out in public, but I can't believe that you did that. The kind of thing makes me so mad. You bringing up the fact that you didn't get that job is just so absolutely absurd. As if it's my fault that you didn't get the promotion. Right? Is that what you really think? I bet it's what you really think, isn't it? When we're getting in an argument.
Yep. I don't think that. I think that we need to be responsible. Do you not think that we need to be responsible? I feel if we're sharing our finances, I feel like we just need to be responsible. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to say we should be responsible.
So Rando, drinks some more of his whiskey, sits it quietly for a little bit, stewing, and then says, you know what, Lena, I'm sorry, you're right. If I hadn't had this extra drink, it was one too many. It was a stupid decision, and I wouldn't have said that if I hadn't been drinking. And we should just go home because you're right. I was wrong.
Okay. I don't. And now I don't want to go home because it's awkward.
No. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll go back to my place.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Okay. So
lose some happiness there.
I would lose 2 happiness. No, you're going to gain 2 because of what I said.
Oh, okay.
And actually we won't because we didn't match at all. So, so let's see. Sorry, let me hash this out. Mm-hmm. I chose A, so I get -2 happiness for that, and you get +2 happiness for that. You chose B. You get another +1 happiness for saying you're right.
All right.
And I would get another -1 happiness because I sort of sacrificed myself for that decision, but I can't. So I just continue to be miserable, and I go home alone.
Oh, God.
From the restaurant.
No.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see how many more scenes we have. We have 2 more.
Okay.
2 more scenes in this wonderful love story.
Wonderful, wonderful story. All right. Let's go with. I think that we are, hanging out, and we're hanging out the house. We're hanging out the apartment. It's quiet. It is a little bit, awkward. And I'm just like, so what's on your mind? What do you think about? Anything in particular? Anything on your mind? Just watching TV? Show doesn't really doesn't portray firefighters in the most accurate light. It's a lot more paperwork than you'd think.
Really? I always kind of thought of firefighting in a way that these TV shows do, only because I don't know anything else. I mean, and we almost never talk about your work, which is kind of, I mean, it's fine if you don't want to talk about it. It would probably just make me worried anyway, honestly. Although it's relieving to know you do mostly paperwork.
Yeah, it's a lot more than you'd think.
Oh. But honestly, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was actually thinking about my run tomorrow. I was just thinking about like what route I'm going to take.
Oh yeah,
there's really nothing serious.
Oh yeah, but no, tell me. I want. Where are you running at? Like, what's your route? Let's talk about this a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I decided I'm going to change things up because I have been kind of running. Like, I like to run. Well, once a week I try to do a long distance, and so I go really far. So I try to go all through downtown, and I just kind of do a big loop downtown. But I've been thinking about like sticking around the Schuylkill, and there's this really nice like path,
that beautiful trail. Yeah. That's gonna be so good.
I was thinking maybe I'm gonna try to do that. Maybe it'll be a little more relaxing if I do that.
Yeah.
So that's really.
I'd love to join you if you'd have me.
Yeah, well, I'd love for you to come.
That'd be fantastic.
I don't know why we don't run together as it is.
Accidentally.
This is the final scene.
All right.
Of chapter 3.
All right. So
I have to decide which one. I have one that I'm going to play as the last scene, I think. It typically wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to play it last, but because it affects the next scene and it won't be one. But I think it makes the most sense for what's going on.
Yeah.
So we decided to go on this run together. And we're running down the Schuylkill, and we end up like going really far, and we decide to like branch off, and we go down to South Philly. And as we're running around South Philly, like I stop us. And I say, I'm like panting. I'm like, hold on, I just need to catch my breath and tell you something. This is crazy. I wasn't paying attention to where we were going, and I just realized something. This is my old neighborhood where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, this is the street that I was born on.
This is where you grew up, huh?
Yeah, this is the street where I was born. I haven't been here in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, my parents moved away from here a long time ago. I know, like, I wasn't paying attention, and you know what? It's weird because it like looks exactly like it did in all my childhood memories and pictures and stuff. It's kind of overwhelming actually being here again with you right now. I don't know what that means, but I just feel like it's kind of interesting that you and I ended up here together. And so normally that would preempt the next scene, but what happens is I change a trait.
Okay.
Because of this sort of revelation. So I'm going to change one of my traits as we end the game here. And it's going to be interesting because, who knows what trait I'm going to end up with. Okay. That's the last scene of our story, except for we have a finale here.
Yep.
So the finale says compatible ?
Right.
Good question for these two.
Real good question.
You've made up your mind about what you want, but are you happy with how things are heading with your partner? Both select a final destiny. All right. So you're going to secretly pick one, and then we'll reveal them. Because the really high likelihood that we're not going to fulfill any destiny.
Yes, that is correct.
And so...
Okay.
Let me see here. I've never ended a game with 0 happies before. That is remarkable.
Get out of there, man.
I know. So I know, and I can't.
You can just
talk about that.
We can veto that and say like.
I think that what we do is pick a final destiny that like our character maybe would have wanted, and then talk about like how the relationship plays out after.
I think that's what I want to do.
Great.
Okay, I've got the one I want.
I got the one I want too.
Okay.
Reveal your destinies. Your destinies determine how it all ends.
Equal partners.
I had picked unconditional love, which is I think what I went into this relationship hoping for.
I was saying that this was going to be an equal partnership. This was going to be an adult relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of those came true.
No, definitely. Because First of all, there are zero for unconditional love. You need to be very sincere. We're the opposite. We're the other direction, sincere, and you would need to have 40 or more happiness. Well, we actually don't know how much happiness we have yet. We have to figure that out.
Oh yeah,
because if you have any secrets in play, you may now reveal and resolve them as if unrevealed. I actually do have a secret that if you remember, I played.
Yes,
on
I do.
Our first date, I had a secret.
I do remember,
and it never came out in our relationship that I was actually bisexual, and I didn't have the nerve to tell Lynn that I was bisexual. So it never gets revealed. If not revealed before the finale, player may swap in self-realization during the finale. Oh, if you swap in self-realization and uses your final destiny, actually, I think I'm going to do that.
That sounds like a good plan.
Oh, I can't. You know what? Because I'm going to say it's not in hand. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be available for this scene. For this scenario. It's not one of the ones you start with in your pool. So technically I couldn't do that. But,
okay.
But I would have if that was an option.
If you want to grab it just as is, I feel like...
It is right here. Where is
Let's play this out.
Sure. All right, so I think that makes the most sense too for my character since I had the revelatory moment at the end in my neighborhood and everything. Okay, so that is actually now my final destiny. All right, so that's a secret. So now what we do is we reveal our traits.
Yes.
And check and see if we achieved our trait goals. So we'll take turns doing this.
All right.
Would you like to go first?
I was a perfectionist, which we just managed to succeed as we got 5 or more discipline.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense for your character that you were pretty disciplined.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So you actually get 3 happiness for that.
All right. 3 happiness.
I was insecure. I lacked a lot of confidence in myself. And I achieved that by being very sensitive. Mm-hmm. And that gives me 3 happiness.
Hey, you got happy. You got genuine happiness.
I got a little bit of happiness.
I am cocky.
Yes.
Which I got by being very ungentle. My individual gentleness is very low. So I am very cocky. I'm self-confident to the point where it's a little rude and arrogant.
Okay, well,
So that's 3 more happiness?
I think that, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I think I kind of liked that, but I was also the jealous type, which is funny because I think I went against my jealousy a couple times and my insecurity a couple times on purpose, especially early in our relationship. Mm-hmm. As it went, I think those traits really came out. I did achieve, however, my jealousy, and I get 3 more happiness. For being a little suspicious and passive aggressive.
I am macho, but I did not succeed at being macho, as our shared balance is one less than it needed to be.
Gotcha. So you actually get -1 happiness for not quite achieving that one. And now I finally at the end I was a worrywart, but when we went to my neighborhood.
Yep.
And I was thinking a lot about sort of where we were in a relationship and how unhappy I was. I started to think about like what kind of future I wanted. And I actually became promiscuous.
Okay.
So that's the direction that character was going to head.
Okay.
Had the story continued. And you know what? I actually achieved that already because I am very shockingly curious.
Yep.
Even though I'm a jealous, insecure worrywart, I like have a lot of quirks and stuff. So I actually did achieve that. So I get 3 more happiness.
Okay.
All right, so now we see if we fulfilled our final destiny.
We did not fulfill my destiny.
Not even close. Not even close because, let's see. But for self-realization, it's all about, first of all, you have to have 30 happiness, which I have 9. So it's not even close. I'm just way too miserable to be self-realized. But I was sort of heading there, and let's see if I had the individual balance of personality tokens I would need to fulfill this. It would be 4 or more in my trait goal 1. So, yeah, actually that checks out. So if I had been happier, I would have been self-realized.
So you're on the road to self-realization, especially when we probably break up.
Yeah.
We definitely, I'm not going to say probably. I think that, like, we probably break up. You know, you probably, or what do you think? Because I kind of have ideas on how.
Oh, go for it.
I kind of think you meet somebody and start seeing, and like maybe, I don't know if you can kind of decide if you want to cheat or not, but like I think that you kind of start seeing you start meeting somebody, you realize you have a connection, and we probably have the talk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I take it that well.
Oh.
But I think I probably like Oh, I probably hold on. Like, I probably hold that in. I don't know if I'm happy about it, but, like, I also kind of set it in my head that we're going to have a successful breakup.
Even though I definitely did cheat on you.
Yeah, for sure.
I met somebody really intriguing. I couldn't believe it happened, but it was, man, I think maybe Randall's got a problem with when he has too much to drink. He keeps making bad decisions.
That might be it.
Drank too much and slept with somebody.
And yeah, I think we have that talk, and I am gutted and furious, but I'm like, I understand. I get it. We're gonna have a successful breakup. We're gonna stay friends. And it's gonna be fine. And I'm, like, squeezing my hands and, like, doing some of this motion. And I'm just like, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be great.
I think Randall's just a nervous wreck the whole time. Can't believe he got himself in this situation where he cheated. Feels horribly guilty about it.
Yeah.
But also incredibly relieved because he was just like, I think deep down he probably cheated to get out of the relationship.
He probably knew. And I feel like Lynn probably also knew a little bit. Like, you know, she didn't want to be tied down, and I think she was trying to give it, like, her all, but she was like, look, it's what it is. Like, I kind of need to manage my own business, and this is where we're at. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thus is our
romance.
Yeah.
And that's Fog of Love. This game is amazing.
Yeah, what do you think?
I love it. I love it so much. There's a whole gamist aspect where you can, like, by the end of it, I was really leaning into the cards for the first half of it, I was definitely playing by the story and being like, this is what I think would happen. By the end of it, I was like, okay, look, if I want to get perfectionist, I need to hit this, this, and this.
Oh, so you started gaming it then.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, it's really fascinating because what we've found a lot of times is there is always that tension between wanting to game it to, like, try to be happy at the end and achieve your final destiny, or, like, also wanting to make the other person happy and have a successful relationship.
Yes, that's definitely the balance that I was fighting, and I absolutely adored it. This game is so good.
Yeah, it is. And I'll be honest, I've played it so many times, and I never get tired of playing it. Like, the more I play this game, the more I just want to keep playing it and playing it again. And I think about it on the regular, which is really uncanny. Like, it's like not often that I've found a game in my life where, like, I don't kind of get tired of playing it and I just want to play it again because the story's always different.
I want to play the different modes. This is awesome. I love this.
I'm so glad you liked it.
I loved it. Ben, thank you so much for coming on Party of One. Thanks was for having me. Awesome. This was top to bottom incredible. So real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Oh, go to www.allportsopen.com. You can actually create an account there where you can earn, like, badges and stuff, which is pretty cool. And you can find me at www.allportsopen.com, where you can find all of the All Ports Open Network podcasts, including Pot of Love, where Mel and I play this game mostly, and also we play Starcross, and probably in the future other romance RPGs. But we're going to keep coming back to playing the game we love, Fog of Love. And you can find us there. And, of course, don't forget to check out our Kickstarter. Yes. It is going live now. Go to allportsopen.com where you can find information about it. Head over to Kickstarter. Check out so we can tell the story of Tecamel, which we are very excited.
That sounds fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a delight.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Really, really grateful.
And I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me.
Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Ben for coming on to the show. That game was awesome. Like I said, you will absolutely be hearing more Fog of Love on the show because that game was utterly fascinating. Be sure to check out Pot of Love because, like I said, I think it's a delightful show. I think it's wonderful, and I think if you enjoy what we do on this show, you will love what they do on Pot of Love. Also, be sure to check out the Tomes and Tales Season 1 Kickstarter. It sounds like the kind of project that I want to see more of. It sounds like it's going to be so good, and I hope that you help make it a reality. And of course, speaking of Kickstarter, Mission Accomplished Kickstarter, next Tuesday, be ready. Also, be sure to follow Pot of Love on Twitter, @Pot of Love. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Then like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. And join our Discord community at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. If you enjoyed the show, consider leaving us a nice iTunes review, a social media shout out, or a word of mouth recommendation to a friend. All of those things help new listeners find the show, which helps us do bigger, better, and cooler things. You can also consider backing our Patreon at patreon.com/partyofonepodcast. If you listened to the show and thought, I wish I could just hear Jeff talk to one other person for 45 minutes to an hour about something tabletop adjacent, boy, have I got a podcast for you. All My Fantasy Children is a tabletop character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast powered by you. Every week, my best friend Aaron Catano Saez and I take a listener prompt, we spin it into a fantasy character, and populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop every Friday at allmyfantasychildren.com. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran, featuring the D&D Sluggers. Interested in coming onto the show? Whether you are a podcaster, game designer, professional wrestler, writer, actor, comedian, musician, film critic, kaiju, financial guru, or you just love a good role-playing game, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And that's it for me. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the force of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.